Hey Trevor, so on the play where you took the really big hit, I think Fitz implied after the game that it was your fault for not seeing it coming, and then I think you said today that there's an issue with protection. What happened on that play? Did you get shaken up?
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel good. It was just it was a blitz we hadn't seen yet from them. They dialed it up. It was probably my job to get out of the way. I can't be taking hits like that, but we did miss it with the protection. But stuff like that's going to happen. We're going to see stuff that we haven't seen before. A lot of times we just got to be able to adjust.
And were you kind of not? Yeah, I mean, did you have to come out for a little bit there? Were you not available?
Yeah, I got the wind knocked out of me, and I got like a Charlie horse on my arm. So.
Mike, we didn't get to talk to you last week. Can you just talk about what that was like after what you've been through to kind of be back and get 100 yards and do some of the things you did?
Yeah, you know, it was definitely a long road coming back from the surgery and all. But you know, I was just happy another day to be out there on the field and you know contributing and helping out the team with the win.
When did you feel like you were all the way back? I mean, did it take actually getting in a game? Did you feel like that in camp at some point?
I would say in practice, like taking the first like real hit, full on hit, you know, getting tied up at the bottom of a pile and stuff like that. I would say, and then just you know the first rep in the Syracuse game, I would say was like kind of the first time I felt like I was finally back and you know kind of got all the surgery and rehab and whatnot and you know the back of my mind.
Do you feel like you and Benrick complement each other with kind of your styles?
Yeah, you know, I think the running back room in general, you know, we all bring something different to the table, and just, you know, we all work well together and, you know, feed off each other.
Guys, last week up on Northwestern football goals, it just said consistently prepare for victory, and now you've got win the Legends division up there. I'm wondering what the significance of that is to you guys, and if Coach said anything to you about that change.
I mean, that's our goal. I mean, as anyone would know at this point, anyone that's playing in the Big Ten is to win our division, to go out. I mean, we're all competitors here. We're all trying to win. I mean, the fact that goal is uncovered means nothing to us, honestly, because we want to focus on this game here. So, I mean, our first step into winning our division is going through Indiana, so that's what we're going to plan to do this week.
Damien, you look at Indiana, unfortunately, you know, they had their quarterback go down, and you only have 1 week of tape on their two quarterbacks. How difficult is it for you as a defense to really prepare for a quarterback you don't have a whole lot of tape on?
I wouldn't say it's difficult in terms of just pure. I mean, there's only so much you can do on a given field. I mean, we got to go based on the film that we do have on their quarterback, and since their quarterback got banged up their last game, their third string essentially at the beginning of the season. I mean, so we just kind of studied the little things that we have on them and just their receivers' routes, the way the line blocks, things that we can't control. So I mean, we kind of take it from what we can do and what we can't do at that point.
If two of you guys can address this, Fitz was in here and he said probably 8 or 9 different ways. You know, 0-0. It's all about Big Ten football right now. How much do you feel like he's stressing that with you that it's a new season and that it's a different level of competition?
I'm not trying to hold. Well, we know that it's Big Ten play. I mean, going 4-0 out of conference is definitely an accomplishment within itself. But I mean, to win our division, it's those 4 games. I mean, they mean a lot. But in the end, we know that we need to win here. So I mean, in order to keep from becoming big-headed and things of that nature, we kind of need to focus on us being 0-0 and starting over. And we still have a big thing to prove, you know, to other Big Ten members of who we actually are and what we can do. So that's something that I think he put a nice emphasis on.
But yeah, like Proby said, out of conference is great. It's great we took care of business then, but I think everybody in the Big Ten, they're 0-0 when the Big Ten schedule starts up. So starts with Indiana, and then we're just trying to go 1-0 this week. So.
For any of you guys, probably the buzz around the Big Ten right now is that it's not looking very good right now. And you guys are 4-0. You could probably legitimately say you have as good a chance as anybody to win the conferences. Do you guys pay attention to that? Do you try not to pay attention to it? What's going through your mind?
You know, kind of like what both of them said, you know, we're really only focused on ourselves and currently, you know, focused on Indiana and going 1-0 this week. And that's, you know, Coach Fitz stresses that every single week is going 1-0 and, you know, focusing on, you know, on us and not looking ahead.
Damien, I guess Fitz was talking a lot about a couple of plays that seemed to really hurt you guys against South Dakota, in particular he talked about the slide screen. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what plays you thought you needed to improve on as a linebacker group.
I mean, Coach Fitz being you know, a linebacker, former linebacker himself, he still has the instinct to kind of coach us up on defense and in our position specifically. He knows that the screen is going to come this week. We know that from watching Indiana's film to know where our weaknesses are. The streams, the draws, those are there. But that's something that we're going to practice this week with Coach Hank. I'm sure he'll get it in our scout team looks the entire week, so we'll be ready for it by the time the game comes Saturday.
And then just a question for all you guys. I wanted to ask a bit, last year going into Big Ten, you guys are coming off that really difficult loss to Army. It was a heartbreaker for you guys. This year coming in 4-0, definitely a different feeling in the locker room. I assume if you could talk about the different feeling that's in the locker room entering Big Ten play this year.
I think it might be a little different, but at the same time, win or lose, we got a 24-hour rule, so just try to flush whatever happened last week or the week before. I mean, it's 1-0 this week. I mean, we've been saying it all the time, but it's truly what it is. No matter, I mean, if we have teams that go 7-0, 8-0, I'm sure they're not tooting their horn about their wins before that. So we're just trying to win this week.
Trevor, how soon before you go in do you know that you're going in? When do they tell you? How does that work with you and Kane?
I'll talk to Coach McCall on the phone, probably about a series or two before, or before the game. He'll tell me he's going to try to get me in here or there. I think it just depends on the flow of the game. So I'll just try to be ready whenever. To be honest with you.
For anybody, I don't know if you saw, but you were ranked 26 in the top 25. Is that something, I mean, does that bother you, the not being in the top 25 of the 4-0 record, or is that kind of a little bit of motivation?
You know, it's something we really doesn't bother us, but it's something we really don't pay attention to or care about. You know, we really just care about each other. You know, within the program, we know how good we are and we know how good we can be, and what other people think doesn't really bother us.
For all of you guys, since you were each here last year, has there been any noticeable difference in Fitz's attitude or anyone that's, you know, changed the dynamic in practice? A lot of younger guys. It's been a lot more competitive this year. Anything that any of you guys have noticed that's different from last year?
I wouldn't say anything specifically different in terms of coaching schemes or things of that nature. The only thing that may have changed, I mean, we're definitely, I feel, I mean, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but that we're a closer team, we're a closer unit. We're kind of gelling together a lot better than we were in years past, me being a junior on the field this year. So, I mean, that's something that we kind of take pride in and have taken pride in coming from camp, that we've been able to become closer, even, you know, with the incoming freshmen all the way up to our 5th years.
I guess, Mike and Trevor, a lot's been made about the way the offensive line has been improved this year, and I was wondering, I mean, Trevor, they're protecting you, and Mike, they're the ones opening the hole for you. Have you noticed that difference? Have you noticed the holes are a little bigger this year, that the protection's, you know, lasting a couple seconds longer? Have you noticed this improvement in the offensive line?
Well, I mean, to start off, you know, I think it's pretty obvious to all of us that, you know, the offensive line in general, that group is a pretty hard-working group, and they're extremely close. And so, you know, I think that, you know, part of that is that them, you know, they're constantly working together, constantly, you know, hanging out together, and they've got such great chemistry where it's, you know, they just feed off each other, and, you know, they've been doing a really great job this year, you know, pass blocking and run blocking as well, and really controlling the line of scrimmage.
And has it been noticeable for you guys? Have you noticed the change? Have you seen on the field anything different?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they have an expectation for themselves, and we have an expectation for how well they're going to do, and I think they're doing just fine. They're taking care of business. So I didn't play a whole lot behind them last year, so I don't really want to speak for them on that. But whatever criticism they may have gotten, I think, if anything, it helped them for this year.
Following up on that, do you think there's more concerted effort to get more players involved this year compared to last year?
I think we're just a deeper team this year. And, you know, and there's just so much competition at practice. And, you know, it allows everyone to have a lot more fun and just compete. And, you know, competition brings out the best in everyone. And I think, you know, just the fact that you're seeing a lot more guys play is because we're really deep and there's just so much competition within the team.
Time for one or two more, Beck. If there are any.
Mike, after the game you had against Boston College, was it tough at all to be sitting out the first half? Did you want to immediately get back out on the field, or was that a prearranged decision that you were comfortable with?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely difficult. You know, you want to help out, you know, your team as much as you can, but, you know, in a situation, you just have to understand, you know, the situation you're in and just accept it.
Anything else, Ed? Great, thanks.